Maybe he was just afraid. Maybe if you hadn't killed yourself, you could have tracked him down, found out he just got cold feet, you know, and you guys could have patched it up. I'm just saying. I would exhaust all options before I hanged myself.
Are you judging her?
Yep. Yes, I am. So here we are at the Algonquin Inn in lovely St. Andrews by the Sea. It's a nice looking place.
You could be like a princess.
Yeah, it's kind of castle-like.
It's very castle-like. It's like some sort of fantasy pony land.
Only if your fantasy includes being haunted by ghosts.
We'll see.
Yeah. The Algonquin is one of the most unique locations that Holly and I have visited. It's got a great look, like something out of a classic horror film, but it's also steeped in history with myriad ghost stories. What made it even more creepy, however, was the fact that it was winter and much of the hotel was closed for the season, and that really heightened the sense of isolation that Holly and I felt while we were there. After we settled in, Holly and I made our way to the lobby, where we met up with Chris Harrison, a bellman at the hotel who was well versed in both the history of the property and its various ghost stories.
Welcome to snowy St. Andrews and the Fairmont Algonquin.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you a little tour of the hotel, talk about the hotel history, and some spooky stories along the way.
Spooky stories.
Some spooky stories, absolutely. The Fairmont Algonquin was built in 1889, originally one of the Canadian Pacific hotels on the railroad. It was a little railway station just here in St. Andrews, and people would travel from all over North America and Canada to be here, to visit the hotel. A hotel that was described as being a modern hotel with all the modern conveniences. Something I'd like to show you first of all, this is the original bell desk from the opening of the hotel, 1889. Wow. The reason I like to point it out is inside this drawer here, we have all of the signatures of the original bellman.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see here, guys, that this is the earliest signature dating back to 1896. I highlight this and say it's the date that it's from because in 1914 there were some workmen working on the roof of the hotel and a single spark was left burning, and in about 45 minutes the entire hotel burnt to the ground. Huh. It's rumoured that there was a loss of one life. It was a bellman. The hotel was closed for the season, but there were still bellmen around, and maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's not, that the only item of furniture that got out was the bell desk, and that it was a bellman that died. Perhaps in getting this piece of furniture out, he lost his life.
After his brief rundown of the history of the Algonquin, Chris related to us the various ghost stories associated with the hotel. Two in particular immediately caught our attention because they involved more than just witness sightings. In each case, there were physical manifestations of allegedly paranormal activity.
Yeah, I was in the dining room and I was vacuuming away, and one of my friends was over in the corner of the room and he was setting up a table or stuff like that. And all of a sudden the lights just dimmed out on us. But where I was standing next to the only light switch for the room. So there was no way someone could have came and slowly dimmed the lights out on us in the room without me knowing. And me and my friend both turned and looked at each other and looked at the light switch, and I had goosebumps all over myself, and we ran out of the room.
Staff in the summer will set up the dining room for breakfast the night before. They'll set the table with all the cutlery, the glasses, and it'll be perfect ready for the morning. Staff, year after year, have reported coming in the morning and finding that the table settings are still nice and neat as they were before, only now they're on the floor, all around the table. I imagine the staff don't do this as a practical joke. It just means some extra work for them at breakfast time. But that's one that's a story that has been running for a number of years from between staff that don't know each other. That isn't a story that's published, and yet it keeps happening time and time again.
The incidents involving the place settings in the dining room offered us a great opportunity to be able to conduct a controlled experiment. We would set up a table, mark the utensils with chalk, and then return in the morning to see if anything had been moved.
Okay.
Explain to me why there are two glasses.
One is for water and one is for wine.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're Jesus and you can just change
Turn
your
one into the other. That would be a special kind of ghost. This is why I've never been employed in the service industry. Hurry up. You're actually setting...
Yes, that's the whole point.
Not with a knife. Careful.
It's a butter knife. The whole point is that it's been set properly and then someone comes in and rearranges it. So you want to be,
Actually, that's a butter knife. See, even I know that. That's a knife.
You're quite right. You would use that for butter.
That's true.
What would you use this for?
I don't know. Depends on what you're going to use it for. All right.
Hold on.
We drew chalk outlines around each of the utensils and place settings, as well as the glassware, and then locked the door behind us so that if anything got moved, we would know about it. After Paul and I had finished setting the table for our experiment and locked the doors, we headed upstairs to their second haunted location. I had a few minutes along the way, so I took some time to get some baseline readings in the surrounding hallways. Wanted to look for any sources of man-made electromagnetic fields using an EMF detector. And after that, I was off to room 473.
Welcome to the fourth floor of the dining room wing of the Fairmont Algonquin.
So this is Ghost Central.
This is where it all happens.
This is it.
Kind of start with a spooky little corridor just to get the nerves going. We're going to head down to the most famous room in the hotel, room 473. This is where it's all happened. This is where most of the stories that you might hear about the hotel originate. The most famous ghost story here at the Algonquin is the bride of room 473. This is the story that everyone's aware of. People will come to the hotel and before they even get as far as checking in, they'll ask if they can see room 473. So we're going to go into 473. Still use the good old-fashioned keys. Just in case. After you.
Oh, any ghosts? Spooky.
Now, you might notice straight away that it's not what you expect. We don't have cobblestones on the floor, cobwebs hanging from the ceiling, and dripping of water. It's a very nice room, very bright room. You're not seeing it in its full glory right now. It has been closed down for the winter time. It's a little bit too cold on this side of the hotel to stay here the night. You'll be getting goosebumps and shivers without seeing any ghosts. The story behind it is a bride who was due to be married just in a garden close to the hotel. She arrived for the wedding and the groom did not. She waited and came back to the room, and people say she died of a broken heart. She took her own life in the room. Some say she jumped from the window. There's no conclusive evidence to say exactly how she did it, but for many, many years, people have reported seeing in and around that room a woman dressed in white.
We set up infrared cameras. One was located in room 473 to cover the window where the bride may have jumped from. Another was outside in the hallway and then a nearby stairwell where her apparition had been seen many times. This gave us complete video coverage for our investigation.
Staff report seeing and hearing a woman crying in the room, dressed in white. People who stay in the room say they see flashes of white in the middle of the night. Closet doors opening, a white figure moving backwards and forwards. And it would appear that she's looking for a lost love in that room and will stay in that room forever or until she finds it.
What's the story? She was a bride.
She was a bride that was essentially left at the altar.
I feel her pain.
Heartbroken.
Oh, she speaks to me. Well, I just want to let her know that I'm single. And, you know, if you want to come and say hello. Oh, that's a nice shot. We've got a camera. If your orb wants to float in,
It's true. You could tell your whole story. People could understand what happened.
you can speak on the little tape recorder, and remember to leave me your phone number. I'm also
Maybe we can find out who this guy is, kick his ass.
I'm also on plenty of internet dating
He's probably
sites.
dead now, but you
Yeah,
know.
I suspect so. I don't think that Holly always appreciates my antics when we're trying to make contact with the spirits. But the truth is that ghost investigation isn't quite as exciting as it might sound. It involves long periods of time just hanging about, waiting for something to happen. And in the process, you can go a bit stir-crazy, particularly in the winter at an isolated place like the Algonquin. Besides, I am single, and I have absolutely nothing against dating a girl on the rebound from a breakup, even if she is a ghost. Yeah, no, you come here often? Yes, all the time, because I haunt this room. Oh, that's good to know. So, oh wait, hold on.
Somewhat serious?
Wait. Fate, time, occasion, chance, change. To these all things are subject, save eternal love. Shelley or Byron? That's Byron. So if she actually died around the turn of the century, she might know some Byron. Maybe her former fiance quoted some Byron. That's how he wooed her.
Maybe she was just crazy.
Could be.
Maybe she
was cheating on him.
Maybe.
Hey, ghost girl, were you cheating on your husband? Did he have a legitimate reason to
Well, he
dump
wasn't
you at
actually
the
my
altar?
husband.
Well,
Maybe.
you know, husband to be.
She could have just come here and been like, yes, I'm getting married.
Yeah, true enough. She could be like completely nuts. My attempts to establish a romantic connection with the ghost didn't seem to be working, so I decided that I would try my usual tactic, which is to antagonize the spirit in order to try and get some sort of reaction. Maybe he was just afraid. Maybe if you hadn't killed yourself, you could have tracked him down, found out he just got cold feet, you know, and you guys could have patched it up. I'm just saying. I would exhaust all options before I hanged myself.
Are you judging her?
Yep. Yes, I am. I come from a long line of judges.
After about an hour or so in room 473 with no paranormal activity, Paul and I decided to split up and explore the rest of the wing of the hotel. He went downstairs and I went to the surrounding hallways outside room 473. I was not prepared for what happened next. I haven't seen this before. I was walking down this hallway. Whoa. Got here. Looked this way. Didn't see anything except my reflection, which, no. And came through here, and this whole space was like really, really bogus to me. I walked in, not gonna do that now. And I came back out, and I held this up here. There's nothing right now, but this has only been taking readings a few inches from it. And I was just standing here and it went absolutely bonkers and I wasn't even moving. There should be another reading here right now if it was electrical. Paul?
Yeah.
Are you seeing this? It picks up a reading and then it's gone. I know.
No,
EMF,
it didn't
right?
say anything. What?
It,
Maybe we have an effect. Oh, now it's up to orange.
I've got it up to red before, and there's nothing in this area. I mean, there's an open window here. You could be getting something through that, but it's gone again. Stronger, stronger. Really strong.
Incoming and weaker. Back. That's the spot right there. Let's see.
Yeah.
The logical thing to do would be to,
Check the plans.
find out what's here. That would, there we go again. Let's go see if we can find a reading in the hallway, or maybe it's just in this area that's weird.
Okay, You want to go back to the room?
If there's a spirit here, let's see if it'll follow us. Nope.
No, you've got
Look,
its attention
as
right
soon
now.
as I said that, it lit up.
An earlier sweep of the wing had shown no EMF activity outside of standard electrical devices. These were different. They moved, they spiked, they were inconsistent. So we did what any good investigator would do. We looked for explanations.
All right, let's head back to room 473, see if the spirit will follow us back. 473 is the allegedly haunted room. Let's... In we go.
No, this doesn't work. Of course, there's a whole other wing there. Can we go to the end of that wing?
Sure.
Well, if it's a reading from outside, then
Lead on.
Nothing. Why would there be? I don't know what's in these, but... Okay. Moment of truth. This is fairly close to... absolutely nothing.
The moment of truth is that you go back to where you were, try it again now that you've been away.
You think?
Sure, why not? But that would be, you've checked the room, you've checked down this hall. The only thing left to check would be that space again. Let's see if it lights up again. This will be the final test. Does it light up again
It's here.
in the same room?
It's here. It's still flighty, though.
Check by the window over. And
Did you see that?
yeah, don't know what to tell you.
That's consistent.
Mm-hmm. Nothing. Oh, and something popped up as you walked and pulled it away. Let me see. Consistent. There's your zone right there. Red, even. Bouncing like.
Take it away.
Take it away. Gone. Put it back. It's still there. Take it away. Gone. Put it back. Still there. See?
Go to the other window.
I think we can establish a pattern here. All 5 colors of the rainbow. But is it a ghost? We don't know. But maybe.
It's really strong right there. Well, now we're getting consistent readings a couple feet from the window.
Hello, Holly.
Hi.
Ding, 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 ding. Nope. Yep. Nope. Nope. Definitely nothing.
Brad.
It had been a long day, and Holly and I were definitely starting to get a bit silly, so we decided to call it a night. The EMF readings had been interesting, and we couldn't discover a logical explanation for finding them in that one spot at that particular time, but that wasn't proof of anything paranormal. The next morning, we checked the dining room, and everything was as we had left it the night before. We packed up our gear and headed home, pretty much convinced that while the Algonquin was a very interesting place with a rich history, the stories of ghosts were pretty much just that, stories. It was only when we took a look at the digital camera footage 2 weeks later from room 473 that Holly and I realized what might really have happened that evening.
After the events in the hallway, the crew headed outside to get some shots of the hotel at night. I took the opportunity to go back to room 473. It's hard to explain, but I wanted to apologize on behalf of Paul. I don't know if the stories of the bride are true, but perhaps they are. And if they are, then everything that she went through, I didn't want to add to her misery, that's for sure. and apologizing really wasn't going to hurt anyone. The area to watch is on the wall behind the computer screen. Our camera picks up an unusual disturbance, and then an orb appears and flies across the room. The orb wasn't the only thing that our camera picked up, however. Before it takes form, our camera recorded what appears to be an anomalous, three-dimensional image on the wall. This image seems to resemble a vague but disturbing face.
Holly and I had never seen footage quite like this before, so we decided to get a second opinion. I contacted a very good friend of mine in the United Kingdom, Dave Sadler, who's been investigating the paranormal for well over a decade, to see what he thought of this footage.
I've viewed the footage 10 times now, both frame by frame, and due to the advanced technology that we're using in relation to the recording, I've been able to view it different styles, different lengths. On a personal level, in the 10 years plus that I've been involved in the paranormal, it's the best piece of footage that's unexplained I've ever seen. I won't say it's paranormal, it's an unexplained light anomaly that is very interesting, very, very interesting. Paul, in 35 years of paranormal investigation between me and Steve, looking at audio, digital, analog, all the different varieties of filming types, photographic types over that period of time, I don't think I've caught anything of consequence whatsoever. But looking at that, I've not seen anything myself that I've captured that could possibly be as important as that piece of footage.
I've never been convinced that orbs are evidence of paranormal activity, but I have to admit that I found the footage we recorded in room 473 to be interesting, particularly how Holly responds to the light after it goes by her. She looks behind her. I can't offer an explanation for that. I find it to be genuinely anomalous.
I honestly can't remember why I looked in the direction of the flying orb, and I didn't observe any of the evidence that our cameras recorded that evening. Numerous staff at the Algonquin have reported seeing photographs of unusual orbs in room 473, but until now, those alleged orbs have never been seen or filmed while moving. Could this orb be the spirit of the mysterious bride of room 473?
I wasn't entirely kidding when I said I felt the bride's pain. I was engaged for several years to a woman I loved dearly, but we never quite made it to the altar. The difference between the bride of room 473 and I is that when my engagement ended, I got on with living my life to the fullest, whereas she chose to end it all. In doing so, she may have created for herself the most existential dilemma of all. By trying to leave this world and end her pain, she ensured that it would endure forever. When you walk the halls of a place like the Algonquin, it's easy to see yourself as a character in some sort of creepy horror film. Now, I'm well aware that historical locations like this can create an atmosphere where the mind is going to play tricks on people, convince them that they're seeing or experiencing things that aren't really there. But cameras are harder to trick, and at the Algonquin, ours might just have recorded proof that the truth is sometimes stranger than any fiction, particularly where ghosts are concerned.